is Erica, and today I'm going to be reading The Golden Goose. Once upon a time, there lived three poor brothers. One day, the eldest brother decided that he would go chop some wood to sell in the nearby city. The eldest brother was by far the strongest, and so he took with him warm slices of bread, meat, and as well as juice and fruit to eat for lunch while he worked. The eldest brother walked through the forest, looking for a good tree to chop down. He was only a little ways into the woods, when suddenly a strange little old man jumped right into his path. "Please, kind sir, I am oh so hungry. Will you share some of your food with me?" said the little man. "Shoo, get away, old man," said the eldest brother. "I am still young, and I need this fruit to stay big and strong." With that, the strange gray-haired man shook his head and walked away into the forest. The eldest brother laughed and continued on his way, hardly looking where he was going. Before he could chop down a single tree, the eldest brother hit his head on a low branch. He returned to his brothers, empty-handed and in need of a bandage. The brothers were hungry, and so they ate what the eldest brother had taken into the forest. The next day, the middle brother went to chop some wood, taking with him what remained of the bread, meat, and juice. Of all the brothers, he was by far the most handsome, and he had grown used to being complimented and having things given to him. Once in the forest, the middle brother met the same old man who again asked for food. "I would certainly not share my food with you," responded the middle brother, eyeing the old man's rags. "I need to keep my good looks so that I may find a wife." Just like his elder brother, before he could even swing his axe, the middle brother tripped over a log and hurt his knee. He hopped on one foot, shouting all the way through the forest, back to where his brothers were waiting. The youngest brother was very different from his brothers. He was neither really strong nor handsome, and so his mean older brothers called him Dunderhead, or Dundee for short. Unlike them, he was kinda good-hearted. Knowing they still needed money, Dundee set off to chop some wood. All that was left for him to eat was the crust of the bread, a handful of grapes, and a few drops of water. Not long after Dundee entered the forest, the same old man crossed his path. "Please, young man, won't you share some of your food with me? I haven't eaten in a long time, and I'm quite hungry," asked the old man. "Of course I will, but I only have some crust and scraps to share," said Dundee. "No matter," said the old man. As they sat down to eat, Dundee discovered that his crust had become big loaves of bread, and he now had a basket of delicious ripe fruits and a pitcher full of water. There was plenty of food to share, and so they had a feast together on the forest floor. "Thank you, kind stranger. You are so generous. I am sure you'll find your fortune in these woods," said the old man. Dundee and the old man soon parted ways. Dundee walked deeper into the woods with a full stomach and a happy mood, ready to chop up lots of wood. When he went to strike his first blow, his axe slid easily through the wood, toppling the hollow tree. Sitting on the stump of the tree was a magnificent golden goose. The goose let out a loud honk to say hello. Dundee carefully picked it up and headed toward the nearby city. The city was the capital of a poor kingdom, and as Dundee walked through the streets, many people began to stare. They had never seen anything so magnificent. He was careful to keep the goose tucked tightly under his arm. He was sure that this was the fortune the old man had promised he would find. As Dundee walked past an inn, the innkeeper's daughter ran out. The golden goose was shining so beautifully in the sunshine, the little girl couldn't help herself. She wanted to pluck just one shiny feather from the goose. But the moment the little girl touched the goose, she was stuck. Try as she might, she could not let go. The girl's sister, seeing her younger sister crying out, went to help. She grabbed her sister's shoulder to pry her loose, but the moment they touched, she found that they were stuck together. As they walked through the streets in a line, another little girl saw her friends, the innkeeper's daughters. When she went to help them, she quickly discovered that she was too unable to let go. Unsure of what to do, Dundee began to run toward the castle, holding the goose tight and hoping to find help. Dundee, the goose, and the three girls were making quite a lot of noise. A priest came out to scold them for being so loud and making such a fuss. He went to tap on the last girl's shoulder, but the moment his hand touched her, he too was immediately stuck. As they walked through the streets, they passed the market. A strong farmer saw the strange line of people crying out that they could not let go, and stepped forward to help. "I can break you free," said the farmer. But despite his strength, the farmer was unable to pull himself nor anyone else free. Dundee ran through the city streets, and soon even more people were following him in a long line. No matter what he did, he couldn't get anyone loose. He finally reached the castle, but with all the people stuck behind him, he couldn't do anything more than run about the courtyard. Inside the castle, the king watched over his daughter, who had not smiled in years. The king had tried to be a wise and kind ruler, but he had become distracted by his daughter's sadness, and the kingdom had become poor. Out her window, the princess saw the priest, the strong farmer, and all sorts of people following Dundee and his golden goose. Dundee ran around, and the goose flapped its shiny wings. She thought it was the silliest thing she had ever seen. She couldn't help but smile. Soon, the princess's smile turned into laughter. The sight of Dundee and the goose was just so funny. She laughed, and the king was overjoyed. Her laughter echoed through the corridor below. As the sound of the princess's laughter filled the courtyard, the spell broke. Dundee stepped free of the crowd behind him, still holding the golden goose. The city people were so happy to be free, they forgot all about the golden goose and began to celebrate! The king came to greet Dundee, eager to meet the person who had finally made his daughter happy. "Any man who can make my daughter laugh as much as you did deserves her hand in marriage," declared the king. Dundee and the princess soon met and fell in love. Having seen the poor city, Dundee gave the golden goose to the king, because he knew the kingdom needed it most. Dundee and the princess were married, and they all lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you liked this video, and please subscribe to my channel.